Good evening, everyone. We're glad to start the meeting at 7 o'clock. Please welcome to the town of Pelton's May Planning Commission meeting.
Business in Billtown.
We do have
He told me that.
one member absent,
Wait,
Jenny.
Wait, he made any money?
Cheryl Hunt is online.
And DB's got where he didn't repair it. No way he could make it.
Does you have an unmute button, I guess, is,
Can you hear us, Cheryl?
I can hear you. Can you hear
Great,
me?
thank you.
all right.
Great, thank you.
Good.
You don't know which speaker it's coming out of, but it's coming out of the speaker, so that's what
Yeah,
matters.
it's all good.
Thank you. If I could have the board to review the minutes as submitted, and I'll entertain a motion to approve or corrections.
Make a motion to approve.
Thank you. I have a motion to approve. Do I have a second? Second, Brad, thank you. All those approve of the minutes as submitted, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Those opposed, thank you. Cheryl?
No, I'm just saying aye, sorry.
It was a late eye. Thank you,
Sorry.
Cheryl. You're a little delay. Okay, old business updates on submitted site plans and secondary plans.
Yes, so, Heritage Hub, which is the commercial, sorry, I can stand down. The commercial subdivision south of Starbucks, they are ready for signatures, which Tim, I'll need you to come in next week to sign those. However, even if we sign it early, we are not releasing the plat until after May 15th when they meet with Fall Creek's board. And we get an approval from them of some sort. They're kind of the last piece. So then they will go record that and split it into the 5 lots that they had indicated on their primary plat, as well as their private road that's going through there. So next we have 4 site plans. I had one submit yesterday, so I amended this presentation to add that. Wawa has given us their responses to our first round of comments. They did a really proficient job, just missed a few things. So we are reviewing that against their updates in our UDO to make sure everything is compliant. But I would say that one's probably going to be approved within the next 30 to 45 days. The BP gas station and the Fairfield Inn Hotel that's at Heritage Hub, both of those, we have given comments to the developer and we are waiting on them to update their plans and send us a new set with the comments addressed. And then the Subway Retail Center, if you'll remember, gosh, Kyle, maybe it was two years ago, they came in for a variance on setbacks. In a while. So they had submitted a plan kind of right after that. They never came in and initiated it. So we voided it out and they came in with something new 2 years later. So we will get looking at that after they pay their fee. So once that is done, we will go ahead and start on that. And that is a Subway retail center next to Starbucks there. The shape of the building, we're gonna have to reassess, see what's gonna fit there. So we'll see what they've submitted.
And that'll be subject to overlay now, right? It's a new application.
That I don't know. I don't know if the BZA hearing gives vested rights in the property. Or if it's kind of like a mix in a way where the building itself could have to fit the architecture standards, but perhaps not the site. I'm not really sure. I'd have to look into that because they did get a variance. So I don't know if that incurs any vested rights to that person. If they would have never gotten a variance, then yeah, absolutely. If they submitted something a while ago that was voided and returned or canceled, absolutely, we would 100% go with that, but I'm just not sure on that one. We'll have to look into it.
What's the legal perspective on that?
What is my opinion of that? I would like to look at all the paperwork to see and compare. I think we can give a pretty good opinion on it, you know, after seeing what was done 2 years ago,
Yeah,
if it was, you know, and all that. They may have a vested right in that, as Anna Rose indicated, so one of those.
and also they might have some conditions. I don't remember if you guys had put any conditions on their variances.
I can't remember.
Yeah, it's been so long, I can't remember, but those things would still have to be adhered to regardless.
I guess my question would be, is that an evergreen scenario where if it goes 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, that those terms stay in place or what the term limits are? when they don't move forward within the time frame with their plans?
Variances have, and conditional uses have a lifespan. I believe it's 3 years. Denise can probably talk to that a little bit better. And where I think it's if there's no movement or something within 3 years, it's null and void. Because we had run into that with looking at that with some conditional uses, I think on the hotels, because they weren't gonna build both of them at once. And so they were concerned if it was 5 years, would that conditional use still apply? So I think there is something like that. I'm just not super familiar with what it is. I know if you submit a site plan on a property or a plat or something like that, there's generally about 3 years of leeway time before, if nothing happens, you're not responding with staff, it's voided. That's what our code says, but I don't know about if that's legal state statute because it's BZA stuff, how that runs with the
Have they
land.
done anything with the town in 2 years? They just said, why?
They submitted a site plan that was never paid for, so we don't begin things until fees are paid.
So with no fee, that's a non-submission, correct?
It was an incomplete, I suppose, because it wasn't paid for when it was submitted. Or then, 72 hours or something like that.
You're asking them to come back around, Brad?
That's what I'm looking for, because we have updated the UDO and everything. And having a grandfathered BZA approval with the variances, where it's been sitting for 2 years with no action and no formal official submission with the associated fee. And I don't see why it would be held open for the 3-year period.
I agree.
So do you want
I wanna
to,
tickle them a little bit and say, we need to go back around.
what do you, leaving?
Well, like Brad said, it's been sitting there for almost 3 years with no movement.
Mm-hmm,
It's already zoned, right?
yes,
So it's just a site plan approval,
Mhm.
but you can pull that up to the plan commission.
I can, yeah,
That's the way to do it.
Yeah, I think we need to have them come back before us.
okay. So what I'll do, I truthfully, I haven't looked at the site plans yet because they just submitted them and I usually get the fees and stuff together before I dig into it. But we'll do kind of our staff analysis of all of the things that need corrected. Or I guess brought up to code, and then we can bring all that before you guys if there's certain things we need to add to that list or, want to remove because the gateway has higher standards, something of that nature, we can kind of work through that together.
Is that the right way, Rob?
I think so. I think that in order to give you a confident legal opinion, I'd like to look at.
Especially consideration.
See what they did. Right.
Mhm.
Yeah, and I'll work with Anna Rose and her team and we can get all that put together in short order.
You with that, Brad?
I'm not super familiar with, I know that site plans and secondary plats used to come to planning commission for approval. And primary plats, secondary plats tend to have a little bit of the same bullet points of, this is what makes it qualify as a passing, plat. I don't know if there's kind of that checklist for site plan, like must meet these conditions to be passed, or like what sort of conditions they can reasonably put on a site that meets every bit of our code. But, like in a rezone, they go above and beyond with conditions to, assure in a special situation that, like Baker's Point. So that I would probably want to be interested in, because I don't really know like what criteria they go off of that I get from Indiana code for rezones and platting.
Okay.
So we have new stormwater regulations too that require water quality and all sorts of things.
Yeah, that site was, given storm approval for all 3 lots back when Starbucks and the bank was built. It was done as all as one, so it has that regional, detention on. Okay, so for our comp plan and our downtown plan, the comp plan had a steering committee meeting on the 28th of April where we worked on goals and objectives, and then the downtown plan will have that meeting on June 2nd to narrow down those goals and objectives. So we're getting pretty close to halfway through. I know there'll be another public open house. Is it July? July.
Oh, June.
Is it, yeah, it's a summer month, because we're about halfway through the project at that point. Since this will be adopted or hopefully be adopted by January of 26. So, public can come see what we've done, give more input. And then they'll take a couple months, not off, but where they're not interacting with the steering committee to bring all of that together. Some other updates I have for you, our arts and culture plan, we're still working on the contract with designing goal to start that in January. Main Street is partnering with the town for that project. They are going to contribute to the cost of the plan, and sit on, steering committee and things like that. So we are fostering that relationship and they're very excited.
What is the overall budget for that?
This plan is $40,000. Our US 36 reroute Water Street intersection study report. We were given authorization from the state. We got a notice to proceed, so we are coordinating a kickoff meeting with CDM Smith. That's essentially just going to be a planning study of if, how, when, why, what are the things that stand in the way of getting 36 rerouted to Water Street and improving the Water Street intersection. And doing something different with how the existing leg of 36 actually attaches to 67. Whether it's abandoned or it's right in, right out only. It's kind of a super preliminary study that NDOT wants to see before they will move into the next kind of project phase where they will throw preliminary engineering money at it. So we're trying to prove a point that Water Street is not great and that 36 alignment, the lights are far too close. So that's all I've got for you. Any questions on any of
On
that?
that one, it's probably too early, but how do we avoid dumping traffic onto Water Street to bring it all the way into town? And then how does it merge back into 38?
Well, I'd say a roundabout. Yeah.
Keep it moving.
Mm-hmm. Keep things moving and,
But if there is an exit onto Water Street,
Mhm.
where is the efficient way to reroute the traffic onto the main thoroughfares off of Water?
Not an engineer. I'm not really sure. I mean, there's going to be an increase in traffic on Water, but hopefully instead of folks using that, they'll use the roundabout to go south and then hit State Street or hit somewhere else. Kind of multiple points of entry exit is my thought.
Because there are no lights between 67 and Pendleton Avenue for them to come back south to pick up State Street. So you've got the park area. The designated area was targeted for community events, social and arts.
Mhm.
We've got the playground area. It's just, I would hate to significantly increase the traffic on Water Street, dumping it into the park. And the four-way stop, actually the all-way stop and then the four-way stop.
Mhm.
To then jump Pendleton Avenue to State Street. I just can't visualize that if we route traffic down Water Street, the effective way to bring it back to State Street /38.
Will this study coincide with the median?
No. That project got moved to 2029.
Median.
So what I'm assuming is this might take a year and a half-ish, probably to put together. And then once that goes in and that project is done, more traffic study is done with those added travel lanes that NDOT is putting in. And see how that also affects that intersection. Cause now we're not really gonna have the numbers at the beginning, like we were gonna let this project next year. The added travel lanes project in February. And that got moved 4 years. So,
We have any say in this at all,
in what? The added travel lanes project?
or the 36 reroute?
The 36 reroute is just a plan kind of report. It's what could we do here? What are the red flags? What might we run into? So there is gonna be like opportunity for public input on that. But it's really kind of it's just a what if document, that we were able to get funding for. And the US 36 reroute up to Water Street has been in town plans as far back as 2006. So it's been around to see what that would look like. And then also.
Significant amount of people turn south there.
Mhm. Yeah. So if you don't have a light at 36 and 67 anymore, you have more space between your lights, which is kind of the goal.
You just want them to go south and not decide to go down Water Street.
Yeah, I don't think the intent was to push.
Oh,
traffic
no,
onto
not at all.
Water Street. It's just a better way to turn,
Separate
Right.
lights.
yeah, to separate the lights and get that
Right.
left turn.
And because the lighting timing on that is really poor.
Yeah,
I know that, if you're trying to turn left, you'll probably sit through a couple cycles.
yeah.
So
Yeah.
it takes kind of all of that stuff into account, and there's certainly traffic studies as part of that would say, well, if we put a roundabout here, here's where traffic might typically go. If we put a light, put a stop sign, here's where traffic might typically go.
Well, I think part of my concern is the cut through traffic,
Mhm.
that hitting that roundabout and then cutting through, because you basically cut past the nursing home, the library, the first park, the
Yeah.
rec fields, then a short stretch of residential before you hit the heavy traffic park area. And there are no lights in there to do a left to come back to 38. So you're starting to cut through residential neighborhoods.
Well, why wouldn't you just go south and then turn left westbound on State Street?
Like
That's
this.
the end. Yeah,
That-
that,
That's the intent, but I can tell you that that people cut through thinking that these are faster.
Yeah.
And with our lack of enforcement on speeds,
Mhm.
I mean, we're seeing it already on Pendleton Avenue and Fall Creek. If there's a shortcut to avoid the intersection of 3867 and
Mhm.
State Street, the zip down Water Street, you could significantly impact your traffic, in my opinion.
Yeah.
people just listen to Google Maps, take them home, it's a terrible place.
Cheryl, do you have any comments on any of the secondary plats or? Cheryl? Cheryl,
I'm so sorry, I couldn't find my mute button. I don't, I totally
Okay.
agree with everything.
all
that's
right,
being
thank
said.
you.
Can you hear me?
Thank-
Yes, we can, thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Dr. Loudon?
Well, there's a new development on Water Street because we have an Acton grade school there, kids school there. There's a lot of kids running across that road to the park,
Mhm.
and it's gonna be right in front of my house too.
Can you guys,
You gotta take into consideration that there will be a bunch of kids in that one, in my old office building.
I mean, this is also something, if it were to be done, is gonna be 25 to 30 years down the road. Like, this is not something that's gonna happen overnight. Because NDOT's probably gonna have to be the one who pays for it, because it would be extremely expensive to reroute a road. And that land is also kind of not great, it's very wet.
You don't wait till I die. It's gonna happen.
You don't know, Doc, you might make it.
Yeah, you got 50 more years, you'll be fine, you'll see it.
All right, thank you.
You're welcome.
Got his hand up.
Let's move to new business.
Scott.
Oh,
Scott.
Scott.
What do you need to say, Scott?
okay, so can you guys hear me?
Yeah,
Okay. So the questions about traffic routing and internally in town and how that US 36 realignment. So you got to remember other agencies or MPO has been highly in favor of doing something like this. NDOT eventually will. So the way you have to look at this is who do you want in the driver's seat? By us doing the study right now, we're in the driver's seat. So we're not going to bury our heads in the sand and hope that those other two agencies do what would be good for Pendleton. So you want to do the study. And initially, I think when the MPO was talking to NDOT, that was a real possibility that it would be an NDOT MPO, MCOG, when I mean MPO. So I think the way this is shaking out is to our advantage because it's our study. We're in the driver's seat. But the questions about the internal traffic on Water Street are very, very legitimate.
Thank you, sir.
Yep.
That's all we have. Our next item for new business is, some updates on our blight resolution. So I'm going to let Terry talk through that.
Good evening, Mr. President and members of the commission. I'll try to be short. As many of you will recall, last month we came with a resolution that had been passed by the RDC in regards to an area in need of redevelopment. And we were working off of a 2014 resolution that had been passed. And we're, as you know, we're applying for a $2 million grant from the Office of Community and Rural Affairs. And they have a requirement that the plan cannot be over 10 years old. So that's what we were operating from. Council, Mr. Shine and Mr. O'Brien found that in the course of some other research on TIFs, that there was actually a 2017 resolution that had repealed the 2014 resolution. And so we are now within the scope in terms of the age requirement for the resolution. So this, what we're asking tonight is that you rescind your vote from last month in an effort because we can't approve something that had already been rescinded.
Fair enough. Any questions? Comments? Cheryl?
Nothing from me.
All right, thank you. I'll make does it have a number or anything?
Yeah, it's Plan Commission Order 2025-02 to be a consideration of that. Motion to approve that order. 25-02.
All right. I'll make a motion, we rescind, is that an ordinance or
It's a Plan Commission order.
Plan Commission Order 25-02?
Be a motion to approve which repeals.
Motion to approve the repeal of 25-0201.
Yeah.
Forget that stuff? May I have a second?
Sure.
Thank you. All those in favor to approve the repeal. I got things all over it.
Approve 02, which rescinds 01.
Right,
Much simpler.
right. Say aye.
Aye.
Thank you.
That is all we've got for you. So,
Doc, Larry, you have any questions?
sorry.
Comments? Miles? Cheryl?
Nothing from me.
Thank you. Anna?
Nope. The only thing I'll let you know is that if we do have to amend that actual 2017 ordinance, if there's any language Okra would like us to add to it, it will come through this board. Same as the other one did. With anything they require in a, I think there was kind of a couple sentences they wanted to see in that version that wasn't in the 2014 one, so.
Very well. Stephanie, anybody else online or anything? All right.
Cool.
Meeting adjourned.
Thank you.
Thank you.